Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first quick bang of the 2021-22 season. I'm your host, Matty. We are talking about Hibs' win against Santa Coloma. Hope I got their name right again. Tonight, 3-0 win. Plenty to talk about. Jimmy, you were at the game. What was your take on it?
Well, listen, we can probably go on about the referee, but I would rather forget that at the moment and talk about the football. The football was, hey, we knocked the ball about, not too bad. Started off a bit slow and methodical. You know, we lose Stevenson playing, and you know, a lot of these players that we didn't expect to play. Once we got the goal, I didn't. There wasn't any doubt about who was going to win. The big pluses for me tonight was McGuinness. We spoke about that at the end of last season, and you spoke about it in the podcast, Matt, just the other week. There's a big season for this laddie, you know. And when I seen him playing against Arsenal just last week, and I thought, what is his position? And he played through the middle against Arsenal. He was all right, and he played the night, and he showed he's got potential. He's got great potential. His deliveries were fantastic. I was really impressed with his performance. There wasn't enough time for me to talk about Scott Allen. You know, I don't think we can get enough time out of him this season. I hope I'm wrong. The performance that tonight was, it could have been 6, 7, 8, 9. It could have been anything. The referee was just a total frigging arse. It just ruined the game. That team at the Fiandora, Heriot Vale, you know, old Heriot Vale would have beat them up the park. It was a good performance, Matty.
Aye.
A lot of potential there, you know. They knocked the ball a bit well.
Interesting that you picked out McGuinness. I thought McGuinness had a cracking game.
Yes.
And actually, I think what everybody else thinks, but I think McGuinness did himself no harm in maybe getting the nod ahead of Joe Newell.
Well, yes. Now, I'm just going to come to that. So you've got Gogic, you had Newell, you had McGuinness and Scott Allen. It's not a great four if you know, when you're looking at trying to penetrate defences. You know, Scott Allen can put a wee pass through. Gogic just breaks everything up. Newell, to me, I just didn't get the guy.
You know, sold on him.
No, I don't think he does enough hard work. You know, that going forward. He did go forward. He's I'm not going to say crunching tackle for the penalty, but for the red card. But you know, I've seen a couple of angles that he just didn't do that anyway. But soft penalty.
Did anybody think it was a red card? Anybody here agree with the decision?
The boy kicks it off the bottom of his foot. It never even touches the boy.
So
I watched it properly.
I thought there was maybe an angle
TV, so
I thought there was maybe an angle where Newell's trailing foot might have caught the boy, but it's hard to tell. I think he went in like out of control, or it wasn't violent or reckless or anything. I thought it was an awfully harsh red card, and I hope Hibs appeal it.
The Hibs club, Matty, was at that end of the ground where he says it was a bit rash. Possibly could have.
Right, but see if they appeal that though, right? So just get this right. So does he not miss the next game if they didn't appeal it, which will be the second leg anyway? So are they not just better just fucking taking it?
Aye, I think so.
Aye, probably right, Kaiser. Aye.
So what if he appeals, he's not available for the second leg anyway? Is that what you're saying?
No, it'd be available for the second leg, but wouldn't it be available if we get through this part of the qualifier?
Unless he wins the appeal.
Yeah.
Aye. So you didn't. What you saying? Didn't take the risk with it, that he might not win the
Nah,
appeal.
because we've
just
put
take
him to bed anyway. So
Aye.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, Kaiser. That would probably be the best way. We'll no need.
Touch wood. Kaiser, what was your take on the game then? What did you think of all?
Still, see, like with the midfield four and that, like obviously they've still got a bit of gelling today because it's quite new. It's quite with Scott Allen coming back in, but I thought it was quite good. I thought McGuinness was man of the match. I don't know, Boyle was brilliant, but I thought McGuinness was by far man of the match. I thought he's done no harm in concreting his place in that team. I thought Porto was amazing. I thought Hanlon was really good. Boyle, Nisbet. There was a couple of kind of a scrappy, shitey passes and stuff like that. You expect that at the start of the season because we're no kind of a match sharp in that yet. But no, it was good. They were a shitey team, weren't they? And I think their game plan was obviously to park the bus, and when they realised that wasn't going to work, they just obviously started hacking us to bits. The ref thing, I think because that's against that opposition, the conversation tonight say, well, fuck it, we're through 3-0, but there's a lot of money involved in this competition, and I think if that's against better opposition and we get a ref like that or a decision like that, it can fucking change a game, and it can be the difference of £7 million in your fucking coffers. Do you know what I mean? So I think that ref needs to get looked at. But even like you're just talking about the red card, like you see some crazy decisions, like where like the Boyle one to pick it out, that just wasn't a foul. That was just like a drop ball. There was loads of times where the foul should be getting another way, and I think he was off his rocker on something, like, to be honest. But I thought it was a decent performance by Hibs. We've done our job. Get out to Andorra and then crack on with the next leg, innit?
Happy days. What about you, Jamie? What was your thoughts on it?
Just to reiterate what Jimmy and Kaiser have both said. Crazy decisions, especially that one when Boyle was actually had beat the man, was through, and they gave the foul the other way there, and it was like, what the fuck? How is that even possible? How can you even give it? The boy's holding his arm. The referee had an absolute shocker, but a big shout out to McGuinness. But I did think Boyle was man of the match. He was just sensational tonight. He just ran them ragged, and it showed that they had the point to prove to try and get onto Boyle. Bad tackle after bad tackle on him. It just shows exactly. He was a talisman, and it proved it when he scored that goal just after the break. I thought it was an excellent movement for him. Good finish. I know it took a deflection, but you've got to put them into the direction of the goal to make them go in. So it was a good performance by the team. Just some crazy decisions by that referee, and I just couldn't understand which game he was actually watching. I thought, sorry.
The second goal, you mentioned it for Boyle right after half time. How crucial do you think that was?
It was absolutely crucial because when we were doing to 10 men, I thought towards the end of the first half that they were kind of creeping into it. They had a couple of decent enough chances. Probably could have scored one of them. It's just flashed past the post. And that might have changed the way the game was going. But to get that goal early in that second half kind of moved that on, and they were having to go back to fouling and what have you like that. And it wasn't going to stand up well. I didn't think it was going to stand up, and then a couple of more challenges went in and nothing went punished. I thought, this could be one of the nights. But nah, job done. You could see Jack Ross absolutely spitting feathers with a couple of the challenges. One of them was a proper leg breaker on Boyle.
Yeah.
I watched it on the telly, so obviously it's a different dimension to the game when you're watching it, and the stream isn't brilliant, to be honest. So I've done pay-per-view, but for some reason on my TV it doesn't work properly. The quality isn't really great, but you were seeing a lot of the replays. So that one with the Newell sending off, the boy's left leg kicks the ball against Newell. His leg's already in the air, and Newell goes under it. He never even touched the guy. But as I say, it's one of them. I agree with Kaiser. I didn't think we should bother appealing it. We're up 3-0. You've gone into that second game. I think we've got good enough midfield. If Doyle Hayes is back, if you've got McGuinness even just stepping in there, I don't think that'll make much difference to the shape.
What about you, Dave?
Pretty professional performance. despite an unprofessional referee, to be honest. I mean, the stuff was shocking. It's been discussed already. Yeah, I wasn't sure because at the game you couldn't really see it properly, and I've seen a couple of retweets and stuff where people are showing the video, and in some, I see what Matty was saying. In some images, it looks like he may have caught him with the end, but from what you're saying, from the other repeats, it's clear that he doesn't. I don't think he needs to give the referee that option though.
That's
as
right.
well, that it's a way up in your box. There's no real reason to slide in there, And it was a fair bit of that where I felt for like about 10 minutes we kind of lost our head a bit, and there was players diving in all over the park. And you're just calm down. This team's rubbish. Just get back to doing what you're doing, pass the ball and all the rest of it. And it was a shame that we had to change the formation completely after that change, because I'm actually quite liking the 4-2-3-1. I thought we were great against Arsenal with that, and I think it's something that could really work for us. But when we did change it, and especially after half time when he tweaked it again a little bit, then we just dominated him. Even with the 10 men, we actually dominated the game. McGuinness, we talked about a lot last season, and people weren't sure about him, and I've kind of been waving the flag for him for a while. I think he's a quality player, and he just needs games. And we'll see it. And it is that kind of, where does he fit in that kind of, whether it's the 2 or whether we play a 3 in the middle or whatever. We still want to try and get Allen behind the strikers. I think it does make a huge difference in that final man, but I think he's that kind of the ball carrier between your kind of Gogic and Allen and all that kind of stuff. That's what a goal is. You'll do that for me.
No.
You'll all sit too deep and try and get the ball and release easy and all the rest of it. I think you'll get a bit more out of McGuinness. So be interesting to see how they fit him in over the course of the season. But I think we'll see plenty from him. I was a little bit disappointed with the laddie, is it Mackay or Mackie? I don't know how they pronounce it.
Mackay,
I've seen bits of him before, and I thought it'd be great, but he just never really in the game.
I just thought it was maybe big game, introduction. I just thought it just got to him. That was all. I could be wrong. That's just how good. We've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you're right. His first touch, the real.
His first touch was awful. It was like, God, you've got a couple of chances and you're just blowing them straight away. And also, I noticed on the forum, a couple of guys saying that Wright had a great game. I must have missed that.
It was a good touch.
He had one good touch. He had one good touch, and then he was blowing at his arse after 5 minutes.
But that touch that he done was the best thing he's done on a hip stop. That's
his showreel done.
He put one cross in onto the head of Porteous, and it was like Porteous should have scored for it. To be fair,
Should have scored.
It was on a plate. One of the best crosses I've seen for ages. So I felt bad for Jay Wright. He's one of these players, but it's just not happened for him yet. And when he came on, there was folk around us giving him a wee bit of stick. No much. No like it was, back in the day when you'd hear folk properly slaughtering players. But he got tight for a couple of folk, and actually he was involved in the third goal. The third goal was a brilliant goal, and Wright was involved in it and played well for it. So I wouldn't go so far as to say he had a really good game or anything like that, but he did a couple of things in the game that were notable.
He looks really unfit. Really, really unfit to me. There was a couple of times where he was having to chase down a couple of players. They put him on their number 10, I think, to try and stop him getting involved. And as soon as they played the passes round him, Dre looked like he was kind of starting to run, then going, fuck this, I can't be arsed. And just there's something no right there.
Dave, he was. I think his position is a right wing back sort of player. He was playing.
That's what he's played for St Johnstone, aye.
He was playing through the middle.
They put him on number 10, aye. That's what they did.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on here?
But I suppose the thing with that, when playing there, it did change the flow of the game.
Oh, we totally compacted the middle, I forgot about the wingers and all the rest of it, and it did change it.
Don't forget, we didn't have Joe Newell, we didn't have Scott Allen.
Aye.
So somebody had to be there. I was a wee bit disappointed they didn't play young Bradley. I thought, go on, get him on.
He came on, did he not? Was he not the sub that came on? Or no, it was Campbell, wasn't it, that came on?
Josh Campbell came on.
Josh Campbell, sorry.
I was not surprised, but listen, it was a good run out again. And Dave, what you were saying about the Arsenal game, I mean, I thought we were very, very quick. Passing was quick. Everything. I thought the first half tonight was a bit. It wasn't as quick. Do you think? It felt
like we were trying to drag them out to try and create space, and they weren't going to come out. Give them their due. Even when they were down to 9 men, they were still trying to play out for the back. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, this is a new way now.
They really pressed them.
I thought looked all right. There was a few times they actually played their way out of defence really, really well.
Aye.
and they were good with their cross-field passes. That was the other thing, kind of picking out the opposite flank. I thought they did that quite well. Kaiser, a game like this, do you think this is the sort of game that Hibs need to learn from if we're going to get anywhere in Europe? When you're playing an opponent like that who utilise every dirty trick in the book.
I think like Hibs can be quite dirty and quite physical in that as well, and that's what you noticed with Hibs. It got to a stage where they're like, right, they just started being quite rough back with them, and Hibs came barge. Like, well, look at last season, Hibs were probably one of the most physical teams. I mean, we always get Boyle getting booted about because he's a threat, but I think we are quite a physical team, like Gogic as well. Like, imagine Gogic coming running at you, like that's a bit of force. Hamlin and Pochis and that as well. I think we've got quite a decent team if we can get a gel, and we can kind of. I think like the difference between the Arsenal game and the Andorra game is they're going to kind of change how the team set up, and we're going to change how we're playing, because it's the difference between setting up to attack and setting up to counter and defend, innit? And I think as long as we get that balance right with who our opposition is, I think we'll be fine. I think we're in for a good campaign. Quietly confident about Europe, but it's all about the draw in it, and then hopefully it isn't anything to do with the referee role, but the night's performance.
Will it be the same referee in the next round?
Well, hopefully no.
No,
hopefully
the next round, but the next tie. It's a different referee when we go. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the referee took the whole tie for both legs, but
he might not make it back to Iceland, to be honest.
No, he's definitely failing a drugs test.
I think Kenny obviously is for Iceland. He's maybe spent the day out in the sun and it all going to his head or something. He was. It was. I reckon that was the worst refereeing performance I've seen since Alan Freeland at Hibs Falkirk.
Someone else said that as well.
It was that bad. And Jack Ross was kind of laughing about it when he was getting interviewed on the radio. I don't know if you've heard that. But he just kind of, you're expecting him to be raging about it, but he just laughed at how bad it was. He can't even bring himself to get annoyed about it. So, highlight of the game, Jimmy. What was your big plus for the night then?
Oh, the big plus was for me was McGuinness. This is his season. I think we spoke about again. We spoke about it last year. We spoke about just before we came on. You spoke about in your podcast. This is his season. If he's going to be a player for Hibs, he needs to kick on big time and cement his place in that midfield, because his deliveries are fantastic. He's got a touch. He's a physical player. He's got some upper body strength, which you can, So for me, that was a big positive. Pochis, I thought, again, Pochis, for me, he does that. He's a great player. It makes one silly mistake, but if we can keep him, and if we can keep Nisbet, at least until January, but I think we'll do well. I think we'll do well. I really do.
I think so. Kaiser, what about you? What was your highlight for the night?
Number 2 getting sent off.
That was definitely one of the best bits, wasn't it? You were waiting for that.
Yes. Yes. I think somebody, is it Dave, put Vamos.
Aye. There was a wee moment where Stevenson left something on one of the boys as well. It was like a 50-50 and the boy got there just before it in the second half. And the referee, I think the referee missed it altogether, but Stevenson proper left one on the boy, which was good. You felt they deserved to be by that. What about you, Dave? What was your highlight?
Nisbet for me, to be honest. I think his work rate was just exceptional. He was left up on his own for a long part of the game. Worked really hard and then came a bit deeper, got involved, he had a great wee through ball, which only just didn't get to Boyle. It was very Scott Allen-esque, but yeah, I think his work rate was phenomenal. Some people all say he's playing for a move. Good.
Aye.
Right, long may that continue.
Absolutely.
Long may he continue to play like that, because I thought he was exceptional tonight.
How good was his finish as well, wasn't it? Like he was just digging out his feet and just placing it.
I think he's a super player. And even the one that they gave offside for.
Yeah.
The thinking to just slow it down and just basically flick it into the corner because they see the goalie going the other way. Just so easy for him. I think he's such a good player. I don't think we'll keep him, but who knows?
Hopefully till January.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
And
we'll see what happens.
Signed the boy Mueller, wasn't it? From from Orlando as well.
Yeah.
Which is,
Daniel.
Nobody's going to mention he's the one taking the corners, are they? No? Believe.
Somebody said they get Declan Rice up as well. When they have
Declan Rice, aye.
But, aye. So just before we wrap up, then Jimmy, see us having any problems going through the second leg?
Oh, there's no, there's no, easy.
Same
No.
you, Kaiser, or do you think we might struggle?
Nah, no chance. I think we'll probably rout them over there. I think they'll probably try and play out a wee bit more, but they've not. But seeing that, they've not really got anything to play. They've not got anything to play for, which might play into their hands a wee bit. If they come out a wee bit, we'll absolutely destroy them.
Nice one. What about you, Dave?
No, I think we'll pump them. I think about 4 or 5 behind over there.
Take that. Any he's going?
Oh, it'd be nice. Oh,
That's the against the law, Matty.
But there's there's folk that have booked flights and that to go over, and it's one of
Somebody
these
got
ones.
an Airbnb right over the top of the pitch. Yeah,
Did they?
it looks onto the pitch.
Ah, superb. I wish I was going. It's just kind of too much money, but that kind of thing. But especially for no being guaranteed a match ticket. But I'm pretty sure the folk will get a ticket. I can't imagine that they're going to sell out the home end or whatever. So
no,
I hope the folk that go have a good trip.
I think their Twitter account's got their Twitter account had 735 followers or something like that.
Chris,
so
we've got more than that on Longbangers, so happy days. Everybody's laughing. Right,
It's a closed door game anyway, Mate.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a closed door game.
Ah, well.
So there's no 2 Andorran fans going to be there either.
I think if you just tweeted the team themselves, you could maybe get a game. They were bringing on anybody in the second half, so there's every chance, Matty.
Just chucking anybody on.
If you can fit in the strip, you'll be all right.
Well, I might struggle with it.
Well, hey, I just have to get a 2XL, by the way.
Well, that's what I've got to still snug around the old
The
old gut, but
3XL.
well, there's a boy going in. I don't care if this is mean to say it or whatever, but we were coming back for the pub, walking down. When you go over the wee bridge to get to the West Stand, so off Easter Road, God, and then the boy comes into the corner and he's got Hibs top on for a couple of seasons ago, which is, I mean, mine's is tight on me, but this was what came when it's all riding up and everything.
It looks like it's painted on.
Aye, bright red shorts and then black socks just to under his knee with shoes, black shoes as well.
No.
I was like, you must have some confidence to go out like that. But fair play to the guy, fair play to him. As long as he was happy, it doesn't really matter who might say. Right, that's us for the night. Thanks for everybody for coming on. It's been great to have a quick bang, and even better to have been at a football match to come back and talk about it. It's been so long. Thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you next time.
County line, I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.